I'm Carl with Haunt365, and today we're going to unbox and set up the 6-foot animated Ghost Captain from Lowe's. I got it after the season was over, so we're going to first check out the box dimensions. That way we can make sure that the box is going to fit in your car when you pick it up. The box dimensions are 24¼ inches wide by 35½ inches tall and 23¾ inches deep. All right, now that we checked out the box dimensions, let's open this guy up. So now that we've opened them up, let's take a look at all the parts and pieces. We have the metal base front half. It's got A on one side, B on the other, and then it says front right here. The metal base back half that's got these two swinging poles here. As you can see, there's also these cotter pins here on the end as well. The two leg poles, one end says D, the other end says C. Then you've got the body that came all wrapped up in this bag. I'm curious, is it just one big piece? Let's find out, shall we? Okay, well, so as you can see the body here, you've got the hands, which are going to be on the steering wheel. So this is all kind of together pretty much. So also in that bag with the body, you've got his hat and his cape. You've got the waist frame with the clevis and cotter pin here at the end, the spine frame with the control box, the head with the shoulders, the steering column bottom, the steering column top, the top half of the steering wheel, the bottom half of the steering wheel, the center skull covers, two handles that are labeled P, and then in the bag with the instructions, you've got the snap lock removal tool, the batteries, and 4 screws. So now that we got all the parts and pieces out of the box, let's lay it out and see what they look like. So now that we've checked out all the parts and pieces, let's start putting this guy together. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take this front base and this back base, and you want to click lock these together. So now you got the legs labeled C and D. What you're going to do is you're going to click lock the C part of these poles to a little pole that says C here at the bottom of the base. So now it wants you to take the body and slide these legs over the leg poles here. Then you want to take the waist frame that has this little motor here, and it's got a connector on it as well. And you're just going to click lock the D part of this waist frame to the D part at the top of the leg poles. How in the world does that work though? There we go. Now we got the spine frame with the control box. Again, we're just gonna go, this one's labeled E. We're gonna click lock this right here at the top here. As you can see all the controls here on the back. You can also see that there's a lot of connections going to different places. So I'm sure we'll get to that here shortly. So the next part, there's actually some poles that are attached where the arms are inside the body and with all the clothes and everything. It's labeled F. What you're going to do is you're going to pull this up and you're going to put the F pole right here and attach that, click lock that, and do the same thing on this side. Oh, this one, so this one's labeled G, this one's labeled F. Is there a, there we go. So they make this guy look like he's got a wiener. Also keep in mind at the very front, this is goofy, they've got a pole sticking out of the front of his pants. I'll let your imagination figure out what that looks like, but I'll tell you it looks exactly like it sounds. So there's that. All right, so now we got the head. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna click lock this plastic piece here on the pole. It's labeled H. And then we've got this wire labeled L, and we're gonna go and hook that up to the control box. All right, so now that back base here had those swinging poles, what you're gonna do is you're gonna swing those up. There's a couple of little holes in the back of his pants, and you're gonna put that through there. And if you look, the poles where the legs are, there's a little round to put it in, and you're gonna put that in there and take that cotter pin and lock that into place. So on the back base, you can kind of see that second pole. There's actually two poles, one on either side. They come up through the pants like this. You can see there's a hole in the pants. And actually, if I kind of go through here, you can kind of see this. There's a little hole that you go and you kind of slide this into that hole. It's like that on both sides. And then you put the cotter pin in to hold that in place. So now we're going to take this bottom steering column and we're going to put this here on the bottom. There's two little poles that are sticking up. If you look on the bottom here, you got a hole here and a hole here. That's where you're going to put that through. And then you have one wire labeled O that you're going to run up the pant leg and you're going to hook it to that control box. Nope, they're not going to go that way. So you're actually not going to run it up the pant leg. You're going to run it up the top because otherwise it doesn't have much room. So we're going to see how this works. All right, so we're actually not going to run that cord up his leg. There's a hole here at the top of this base steering column. What we're going to do is we're actually going to put this top steering column, we're going to run it up here, and then there's a hole in the back, and then we're going to run it right there through into his clothes, and we're going to attach O to O. So then it says you want to lock the base steering column to the top steering column using these little screws here. So we're going to go do that. Now it wants us to connect the two steering wheel halves. So it looks like they just kind of snap in. So we're going to do that. There we go. All right, so we got the steering wheel put together like this. Now it wants you to put the front on. All right, so the skull is going to go in the front like so. You're also going to run this cord through this hole here on the back. Okay, that back just kind of snaps in. And then let's go and how does this snap? There we go. So that just snaps in. So now we've got the steering wheel, we've got this little skull in the front, and you can see I've ran this cord through this little hole here. What we're gonna do, you got this pole sticking out right here. We're gonna go and we're gonna slide this over that pole. If you look, there's a hole here. You've got this little clevis, and you got a cotter pin that's gonna go and that's gonna hold that into place. All right, so now last we got to go and we just got to hook up the rest of the wires. Whatever wire, if it's labeled A, you put it to another A or whatever that might be. We're going to go back. I think there's two wires that are still to be put together. We're going to do that right now. All right, so we got N. We're going to hook up to N. And then we got M that we're going to hook up to M. So at this point, I'm going to take this DC adapter and I'm going to put it into the control box and I'm going to kind of run it down. That way it's easy access when I want to plug this guy in. So now we got the two handles labeled P. What you're going to do is there's actually two spokes on either side that are missing. One is in the hand, on each hand, on either side of our captain here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put those in, and then we're going to put these into the two that are missing as well. So you're going to put R to R here, P to P. On that side, this hand was actually Q, so you're going to go Q to Q, R to R, and then these two are both P to P. Now it wants us to put the hat on the head. There's actually some Velcro in here. There's Velcro on top of his head. Now you can also, there's a couple of ties that go back and forth here with his jacket, so you can kind of put those together as well. Now it says it wants you to put on his cape. You're basically just going to kind of put this over his shoulders, and then you're just going to tie it here in the front. So I think we got this guy all set up now. Let's turn him on and see what he does.
Welcome.
So this guy comes equipped with 4 spooky phrases. Let's check them out now.
Abandon ship. It's sink or swim in the river of death. Welcome, lost soul. Prepare yourself for the journey, or I'll be swift as the tide that come in to take you away by the hand of darkness that arrives without warning before the break of day. The struggling cries for help, the gasping for a final breath, the icy black grip of the angry sea's death. Oh, how I miss the lovely adventures on the seas. I grab the wheel, crush by waves, our timbers groan and wail. Grin wide, me hearties, we hoist the dead man's sails.
So this animatronic was made by Techie. He's 6 foot tall. He's kind of cool looking. He's got a lot going on. This guy has a volume control that you can just turn off the volume if you want to have him moving without actually talking. He also has a speaker jack in the back if you wanted to hook him up to a speaker. You could also hook him up to a step pad. One of the things I really like about this guy is if you don't want to have him kind of tethered to a cord, you can use 4 AA batteries and he will work just the same. I love that. That way you're not getting cords tied up. If you've got them somewhere, say in the yard, you don't have to worry about running, extension cords all over the place. I think that's awesome. I love some of the detail on this guy. His face is kind of creepy looking. His eyes are creepy. His mouth, when he's talking, almost kind of like quivers in a way, which is kind of crazy to see. Makes you really think that he's on some kind of frigid boat out in the middle of the ocean or something like that. I like the way that they set up the motion of the steering wheel, that, it looks like he's steering the boat. And then, you can kind of see his hands almost look a little zombified. His face looks a little zombified. His eyes light up bright yellow, which is kind of cool. I'm not 100% sure if this guy lights up under the black light or not. I wouldn't be surprised based on that color. I think that would actually make him even cooler. Spoiler alert, I found a black light and I put the steering wheel under it and it did not light up. What a bummer. He wasn't super difficult to put together. There was a couple of things that were a little different. Overall, he's a nice animatronic. I definitely don't think that he was worth the $349 price tag that Lowe's had him set at. I feel like Lowe's was super overpriced this year compared to, say, Spirit Halloween or Home Depot. I got him on clearance after Halloween, so I didn't pay that full $350 price tag. I don't think I would pay that up front, but if you're having like a nautical theme for your, Halloween or party or your haunt, or if you're doing, like a pirate theme, I think that he could be a really nice addition. So there you have it, the 6 foot Ghost Captain from Lowe's, fully assembled. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, make sure that you smash that subscribe button. Also, make sure that you check out the reboxing video. That way you can make sure that this guy is going to fit in that box at the end of the season. Until next time, happy haunting. Cheers.